Happy Monday, everybody. I know I'm usually with you bright and early on a Monday, but I had a rehearsal today. Here we go. Rehearsal went really well. It was actually for a brand new project. I had someone who I've just been in similar circles with for a long time reach out, and he was like, hey, I'm trying to put together kind of like a chamber ensemble project where we're going to be doing my original instrumental music. And I was like, yeah, that sounds like fun. And so I showed up, and there was me, another violinist, there was going to be a cellist. He couldn't make it today. Clarinet, flute, aux percussion, guitar, and it was so fun. It was really cool. Like, you could tell everyone in the room was excited to be a part of such like a unique grouping of instruments, and everyone was super respectful and kind. The environment in the room was just fun. So I'm very excited about working with them again. We're planning another rehearsal probably for next month, and talking about putting together some show here in Nashville. SBG, welcome. How are you doing? Cathedora, Gopi, Alex, Daniel, thank you for gifting a sub for Finn and you, Fred. Lunetta, Yogi, it's nice seeing everybody. Thank you so much for being here, everyone. Silver, Zeri, Handicapper TMK, Bitrot. As always, you know, everyone's always so kind when I have to move around my schedule for the other various things that, you know, I do to keep this whole music full-time thing happening. So thank you very much for always being so understanding with that. And as some of you might remember, Dr. Mekmek, thank you for 21 months. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. And that does give you a priority request, of course. So if there's something you'd like to hear, just let me or Maud know. Jack, welcome as well. Last stream, Silver, thank you for the bits. Thank you. We got a hype train. There it is, people. We did it. And Daniel for the dono. Daniel, thank you. Thank you so much. My last stream, I tried something different to help myself feel more in control of how big the song list has gotten. And, you know, I've been slowly getting better at the instruments as I continue to play them more. And there's a couple things that I'm going to try today. I'm going to try for the first time singing while playing the piano over a loop. I think it will cut down on loop time, and I think it could add a lot. So I was going to see if I could do that for at least one. I learned the bass line to Traverse Town, and then I did just Ableton study. I'm learning how to use the effects and apply them to, I guess they were just out of frame. I have these little knobs here that I can have, you know, oh, I unplugged it, no. So I can have certain effects come in and out at, you know, certain frequencies. So there's a lot of good things coming up. I still need to do a little more research on the Ableton side of it, but it's getting there. Can we do Ring of Fire by Johnny Cash? Of course. I'm still gonna do just like a violin warm-up improv moment, and after that I can probably just jump right into the Johnny Cash. Daniel said, raise the hype for Joe, 14 days till the birthday celebration. I didn't even know that. Yes, in 14 days it's gonna be my birthday, and I'm scheduled to stream that day, so I'm gonna do a birthday celebration here on Twitch. Just swinging by to say happy Easter, you wonderful people. For Uriel, how are you? I'm going to bed. Yes, please get your sleep. I was planning on trying to swing by the post office, but it was in the opposite direction, so I'm gonna make sure to make a point of doing that tomorrow. Let's see here. I think for the first one, if we're gonna go into Johnny Cash after, I'd like to just do this track called Everyday Life from a game called Moonglow Bay. It's really simple. It's just easy and comfortable to play over. So I'm going to do some basic improv and then we'll do some loops. Coming from rehearsal right to here, admittedly my brain needed that extra second to adapt to playing with headphones on rather than a room with a bunch of amps and stuff. For Inner, thank you very much for resub for 3 months and Zynerax for 4 months. Thank you very, very much. I really appreciate it. Yeah, just thank you everybody. It feels so funny for me on a Monday to start in the middle of the day. I feel like I should do something different, but I don't know what that different thing would be. Let's see here. Bumped my wrist kind of in a funny way there. I still have to wear this Band-Aid, unfortunately. I gave myself just such a gnarly paper cut last week, and it's taken its time. It's not wanting to surrender yet, but I'm just letting it be. Not trying to put too much pressure on it or nothing like that. So let's see. I'm just organizing some things in my folder reel here. These are all improv. So they go there. Cool. Do I have a guitar recorded for this? I don't think that I do. So that means got it. Woo. If you hear me coughing and sniffling still, don't be alarmed. I'm not sick. I just have some allergies that are not wanting to quit, but it's not going to keep me down. Hey, for Lisa, thank you very much for the raid. Thank you. I was actually just about to do a loop. Maybe I should do one more violin song just to get warmed up before I jump right into a loop, but thank you so much. Thank you for the raid. Let's just do something pretty and simple. I kind of want to do... These are pretty short, so this could be a good one. I'm going to do Tressa the Merchant from Octopath Traveler. But if anyone here hasn't already had the pleasure of getting to watch Lisa, go over there and say hi. Fantastic fellow music streamer here on Twitch. Let's see here. I usually play much earlier in the day, but I had a rehearsal for a new project today. And it was kind of like a chamber ensemble style. But it was super fun. I had a really good time. Hopefully that means I'm warmed up, right? For Gigios, thank you for the resub for 4 months. Thank you. All right. Tressa the Merchant. Oh, I have 2 tracks at the same time. That's not gonna sound good. Such a pretty song. I've tried looping that one before, but I honestly feel like the track is so nice that I don't really like trying to replace it because I like the original so much that I don't really want to mess with it. Yeah, this is another one from Octopath Traveler I'll get to probably today. I feel like I haven't done this one for a minute. For Lisa, if there is something that you want to hear, please let me know. For the I want to try and make sure I do this right. The Creativist. Hello. Yes, I am American. I grew up in Boston, Massachusetts, and I currently live in Nashville, Tennessee. Let's see here. I said that I was going to do Ring of Fire for Dr. Mekmek for their priority request. So let me set that up real quick. The tricky part with this one is it's in 2/4, so I know I need to be really precise with my pedal pushing. First, Celeste, welcome. How are you? Always nice to see you. I guess if I'm starting in the middle of the day now, more towards the evening, I guess a lot of you guys might have just gotten out of work. Love is a burning thing, and it makes fire ring. Well, good job getting that first day of the week done, y'all. I know sometimes it can feel like a drag getting back into it. Oh. I should get the correct binder. I changed it around a little bit. It shouldn't look too different from your guys' angle, but I did change my setup just a bit. I moved the binders over here so that now I can sing and play piano at the same time. I just had to push it up to make that possible. So now binders look... Oh, sorry. I don't know if that was loud on your beautiful ears. I'm sorry. But I am going to try and slowly but surely get used to playing an instrument while singing when it comes to my loops, because it will cut down, on the loop time that it takes. And I think it's good for me. It will make me a better musician. So I want to push myself. You guys know I'm always trying to do that. Just another thing I've always wanted to do, but I was scared to do, so no time like the present, right? Okay. Turn this up. Reset my faders. This might be a little fast, but let's try it. 1, 2, 3. Oh, it didn't start on the downbeat. Maybe less reverb, and I gotta bump it just to hear it a bit better. Okay. That is incorrect. Gotta change one more thing. Okay. 1, 2. add the kick drum suitcase for the chorus. I think the washboard would be too much though. So like, there's like. Too much, just a little. Love is a burning thing, and it makes a fiery ring, bound by wild desire. I fell to ring of fire. I fell into a burning of fire. I went down, down, down as the flames run higher, and it burns, burns, burns. That ring of fire, that ring of fire. The taste of love is sweet when arms like ours meet. I fell for you like a child. Oh, but that fire went wild. I fell into a burning fire. I went down, down, down as the flames went higher, and it burns, burns, burns. That ring of fire, that ring of fire. I fell into a burning ring of fire. I went down, down, down as the flames went higher, and it burns, burns, burns. That ring of fire, that ring of fire. Taste of love is sweet when eyes like ours meet. I fell for you just like a child. Oh, but the fire went wild. I fell into a burning ring of fire. I went down, down, down as the flames went higher, and it burns, burns, burns. That ring of fire, that ring of fire. I fell into a burning ring of fire. I went down, down, down as the flames went higher, and it burns, burns, burns. Catherine, thank you. Couldn't tell if it was like maybe a little fast, but I feel like I usually do that one painfully slow. So I wanted to like take it in the other direction. For Jojo, my love, thank you so much for the raid. For the follows from Collards, the Creativists, and Nino Jimenez. Thank you very much. For Jojo, please let me know if I can play you something to say thank you for the raid. Gigios, thank you. I really appreciate it, you guys, truly. I will admit, I feel like my brain's a little foggy from rehearsal today. It was 3.5 hours. And like, it was great. I had so much fun. Very happy about it, but just a lot of music and a lot of kind of focus, you know? Let's see. We have for Gigios, you asked for He's a Pirate from Pirates of the Caribbean. This is one, admittedly, where I don't have really like an arrangement for it. I just kind of make this one up as we go. Yeah, for the Creativists, I live here in Nashville and I play officially with 2 groups right now. My mouse is like, through Bluetooth or whatever, but it got stuck on my other computer instead of the one over here. I'm trying to like get it, but I just see it zooming all over the place instead of my current desktop. Let's see. But I was asked by a mutual friend, oh, it's back, yay, if I would be willing to try and play in his new ensemble. And it was so much fun. It was like it was kind of like a small chamber ensemble. There was clarinet, flute, violins, cello, upright bass, percussion section, guitar. And I think there's going to be more members as well. But it was super fun, you know? Like, I haven't played in that sort of a grouping in a very long time. And I hadn't met most of them, but everyone was really nice and it just felt really comfortable. So we're going to get ready to try and start doing some shows. Let's see, how does this go? Of course. Wow, 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 wow. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be really fun. Let's see, how do I want to do this? Seems like a good tempo. Gopi, what's up? There is a mouse right behind me. That's Frank. Don't let him hear that you called him a mouse, though. Frank can be very, very temperamental. You don't want to upset Frank. He's very scary. Let's see here. So this is like da-da. Oh. Thank you for the follow for Pro Lamic. Thank you. I appreciate that. Let's do all of these on input channel 2. Definitely going to bring out the accordion for this. Hell yeah. And we'll just feel it out. Again, I don't have a set arrangement for this. I just kind of have fun with it. We just see what happens. Okay, let's do it. Need to set my foot pedals. E, F, G, A, B, C. Done. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Get farther away from the desk. 1, 2, 3, 1. Accordion. I can play a little better. One more time. I want to do one more. It's still not right. kind of all over the place, but just having some fun. I'm trying to remember that. That was like a huge thing for a while. One day the weatherman can the pages on the sea. One day when the weatherman's sun will die. Something like that. Something. I remember that was like in every reel and like TikTok video for a hot minute there. Any Joe original? Let's do. You don't need to apologize. You're fine. I played it because I wanted to. I want to do Two-Face. I know I've been doing this one kind of a lot lately, but its sassy spirit just makes me happy. I wrote this from a place that was not happy. I was incredibly hurt and going through a very, very painful realization of what I'd actually gone through. And what helped me get through it was writing a song. So that's what I did. It's called Two-Face, and I hope you like it. Okay. Move over, washboard. It's not your moment. You just hear like... And I'm like, no, washboard. It's not your time. And it's like, washboard's such a diva. And there we go. I like the idea of a sentient washboard. So stupid. Here's a little drum groove I whipped up together. I'm not supposed to do the full chord. That was incorrect.
I fell in too deep with the wrong kind of man. I got myself in trouble, I'm so damn gullible, fell right into his hands. He said he'd give me the world if I gave him mine. Stone cold sober, I handed it over, left all else behind. Was it worth it? It's got me feeling so worthless. Not sure how else I can word it other than to say it straight. You do face how good someone like me. I've been so caught up with your sorry self. So much better off wasting my time on anybody else. You said you never loved me and you never will. Well, I don't know who I was talking to inside of your two-face. Each night we go out and put on quite a show. I gotta be his fancy new arm candy. Little did I know the whole act wouldn't last. In fact, it would fall apart. There was so much more behind closed doors. I just couldn't see that far. Was it worth it? It's got me feeling so worthless. Not sure how else I can word it other than to say it straight. You do face how good someone like me. Have been so caught up with your sorry self. I'd be so much better off wasting my time on anybody else. You said you never loved me and you never will. Well, I don't know who I was talking to inside of your two-face. Was it worth it? It's got me feeling so worthless. Not sure how else I can word it other than to say it straight. You do face how good someone like me. I've been so caught up with your sorry self. I'd be so much better off wasting my time on anybody else. You said you never loved me and you never will. Well, I don't know who I was talking to inside of your two-face.
Okay. I was talking to you guys last week about how I've been really wanting to like go through my song list and just tidy some things up. So I'm writing down any initial note that I have for myself. For the creative thank you for saying that. It was actually a really scary thing. It sounds kind of like, just an angry breakup song, but it's about something much darker. than that, if I'm being honest. But thank you. I feel like that song just has to have electric guitar on it. I have to figure that out for next week. So this was my notes for last week. Two-Faced. I want to add a bass line, and we're going to add electric guitar. I think that's going to help a lot. So if you're wondering what I'm typing over here and things like that, for Walt Dorian, thank you. Everybody, thank you so much. Oh my goodness, all these followers, y'all. You're helping me inch my way towards 40,000 followers, if you can believe that. I can barely believe it, so I have to keep saying it so I can hear it back and be like, what? But last week, well, if I can have just like a talking chill moment and kind of talk to you guys about where my head was at, I felt myself starting to get really anxious about making loops and stuff on stream, and I really started doubting myself. And I was like, okay, let's break this down. Why am I doubting myself? And I started to write notes for myself after I finish each one, if I think that there is something that I need to fix. And I wrote down 5 notes for myself last week, and I got them all done. I didn't do Father John Misty bass line, but I did do Traverse Town, and I'm practicing playing piano while singing. So I'm going to try and do that with Jim Croce's Time in a Bottle today. But yeah, I feel like that would actually be a good transition, right? Just go for it. But my plan is to make my corrections here with you on stream, and then in a way it's like you can help me kind of be involved in it. So if I finish a song and if I'm saying something like, I feel like it's missing something, that's a great time for me to hear suggestions from you guys. If you're like, add a synth line, or like bass, or also very helpful answer, it's fine as is. Yeah, for Doc, I'm really glad that you get to be here for it, because I worked really hard on it this weekend. I was trying to do it for the Wilco cover as well as Time in a Bottle, which I've never played piano on. I don't play the kazoo though. Did I scare you with that degree of anger, Cathedora? Was that horrifying? Daniel, I'm already terrified about my new neighbors being upset about how much I play violin. I think if I added a bagpipe in the mix, that would not be ideal. But before I jump into Cathedora, oh my gosh. Oh, I need to take a break. I do need to take a break though. I really have to pee very badly. So I'll be back in a couple minutes, okay? And then I'm gonna do Time in a Bottle. Okay, bye. mic was off. I made a scary sound. There's been so many follows, you guys. Thank you. From Albord, Lynn, Fan, Incessant Wrath, Will Roch, Lake, Degis, Dutch Empire, and Prolomic. My allergies are just killing me, man. Okay, I can do this. We are gonna try Time in a Bottle from scratch. Oh no, I exited out of the Google Doc. Come back. I've never tried playing piano while singing on this channel. Piano is an instrument I've always been fairly intimidated by, and this past year I've been working really hard on it, and the bass as well. So I'm hoping as I continue to get better to be able to play and sing with loops on a variety of different instruments. But for today, I'm going to start with... I have the hiccups and it makes me want to burp them. I'm going to do the piano from scratch, or recording of Time in a Bottle from scratch, and play piano live and see how that goes. Is that true for Daniel? So this is in 3/4. I miss visiting down there. There's definitely, I moved here for the music scene here in Nashville, and I mean, it was exactly how I expected it. Like, if you go in the grocery store and you have your, like for me, my violin on my back, you'll usually get stopped by someone and be like, oh, hey, like, do you play with anybody? Or like, do you think maybe you could do some session work or something like that? Like, it is a great city for just meeting more musicians and being able to build, you know, a circle. But my best advice for anyone who wants to be a musician moving here, the best thing you can do is go to as many shows as possible, and not just downtown. You want to go to like the local venues where there's original artists performing, and get to know the people there, get to know the sound guy, get to know the bartenders, and, you know, make sure to talk to the artists that you like, especially if you think maybe your music might complement them. I've been to the stage a whole handful of times. That's a good spot. Okay, so my damn mouse keeps going up in this top one. Why is that happening? It's like tripping me out. There it is. So these all need to be input 2. And I'm only going to record guitar and strings. So that means these. Guitar, guitar, guitar. I'm going to copy there. And I think I'm ready. Lovely. Okay. Ready. Close enough. Oh, so close. No, we just that at the end. Okay. 2, 3, 1, 2, 3.
to know you're the one I want time
Not perfect. Let me try it singing with the piano and the strings a little lower.
If I could save time in a battle, the first thing I'd like to do, save every day like a trash.
You guys better hire.
I had abundance just wishes and dreams that have never come true. I'd save every day like a treasure, then again I would spend them with you.
See what it sounds like if I record it.
Been around enough to know you're the one I want to go through time with.
So definitely still a work in progress, but Noki, thank you. So that's something I've never tried before with these loops, with trying to play an instrument while singing over on top of the loop to help it seem a bit more full. So I didn't know how well it worked out in the end, but for at least for first time through, I was able to like hit all the chords and kind of get through the form of it. So it's something getting started. Doc, have some money for ignoring the part of your brain that told you not to play piano and sing. Thank you. I was working really hard too on the Wilco song. Jesus, don't cry. You can rely on me, honey. You can combine anything you want. We were around. You were right about the stars. Each one is a setting sun. Top in the shake, voices escape, singing sunset songs. Tune to go, strung down your cheek, vitamin D, turning your orbit around. So I think I'm gonna try and do that today without recording the piano prior and just play it live. This is something that's it's brand new for me. I haven't tried to do this before, so it's a little scary, and it's probably not as strong as it could be, but you guys know me. You know what I'm always trying to do here, so you don't need to hear me over-explain it. I just want to keep trying to be the best player I can be. Let's see. I would like to do another loop, but an instrumental this time. And I want to do Near Savalon from Bravely Default 2. And then I'm going to take a little break from loops, because we've done loops for basically the whole stream, which is good. I mean, that's half of what I do. But I think I want to do the other half of what I do too. Maybe I'll even try and do an improv loop today, huh? I found it very hard to do until one day it suddenly wasn't hard. Like, I can feel that I've gotten past the first hurdle of it, where it's feeling a little less awkward. Definitely much better than before. So I'm determined. I'm just going to try and do it at least every day for like 45 minutes or so if I can. You know, obviously I put most of my time into my violin practice, which ideally gets like 3 hours a day if I can. But I'm trying to make a full day schedule. Sharker, welcome, by the way. I feel like I haven't been as good at keeping up with chat today, everybody. My bad. I guess my brain's moving really fast. Not sounding completely horrible when singing took like a year, though. Yeah, just like the rhythmic independence of each hand on the left or on the piano, as well as everything else, is just like, whoa. Just a lot to keep track of. So for this one, I'm going to start with, let's start with accordion. Accordion's fun. And then I'll add strings and then the worst bird. The first starter. Cool. Things are going pretty good for me, Sharker. Thank you for asking. A bit of a long day, but it was a good one. I had a 3.5 hour rehearsal for a new project that I agreed to be in, and it was really fun. I had a really good time, and I thought that the music for our first rehearsal together sounded pretty damn good. So I'm excited to see what that will turn into. Oh, I said I was going to do accordion first, but I'm holding the violin, so That was an aggro kick drum, my bad. Are you beautiful little ears okay? I hope so. Okay, it's coming back now. There it is. Violence! Yes, sir. Thank you for the raid. I'm just making a fun little loop. It's a video game song. It's pretty cool. A butt raid? I like butts. Thank you. Here, why don't I play this once? If there's something I could play for you, let me know. Thank you. Okay. No more guitar. No more washboard. Oh, we had another track in our cans. I hope it was at least the same key. What's up, y'all? That was a kind of a fun one for Raiders to come in on. With what I do here, I do make loops. A lot of them are covers, like cover songs. I have originals where I sing over them. But I have a huge portion of my song list dedicated to video game music because I love video game music so much. That was one of the themes from a game called Bravely Default 2, and I just had to make something with it. I thought it sounded so cool. Thank you again so much for Emma McGann for that raid, and if anyone here hasn't already gotten to pop over and watch her perform yet, change it. She's a fantastic singer-songwriter, lovely personality, lives in a jungle, is very nice. I think you'd have a good time over there. I've been toying with the idea for the creatives for doing a SoundCloud of that kind of stuff. Yes, I've done a lot of improv loops. I'll probably do one today live with you guys. I kind of want to go back to like playing over some tracks for a second, but I've done a whole lot of just improv loops on streams, and I have you guys help me name them, which has been quite the list of names that we have put together as a community. Some of them are actually kind of nice sounding. Oh, not that one. That's pretty gross. Let's see what this one this one sounds like. It's called Ripple of Butt Fart. So I know you guys must have named that, because I would never say such a thing ever. There's no way that I would ever say such a thing. Wow, I layered the crap out of this. Okay. Let's just see what happens. Wait, what just happened? Klaus! Thank you! Oh my goodness. What is going on in this? Okay, I just gotta go one thing at a time. A kick drum, cool. Oh, and then I made this little piano moment. For Klaus, thank you so much for 10 gifted subs. That's so freaking generous. Please let me know if I can play you something. I'm just revisiting the past real quick to see what improv loop we made together. Ooh. Spacey. Oh, what else happens? Oh, I played bass. Fun. I guess Ripple of Butt Fart was a real winner. What's peaking? Let's do some improv over it. Let's see what happens next. Well, that was, we gave it a stupid name, so I was just like, oh, this must not be anything worthwhile. But Ripple of Butt Fart was quite an enjoyable little song to listen to. That was fun. For Munch Break, thank you. For Magoni. If you guys would like, I'm happy to try and do an improv loop today. I usually get incredibly scared and self-conscious whenever I do it, but I want to get over that fear. But first, let me do some things to get a little settled. We've been doing loops now for almost 2 hours. And I love doing loops. Don't get me wrong. I have binders full of things that I've made and put together. But I also love playing video game music. I write out all my music myself. I listen to tracks and write what I hear. And it's resulted in 5 binders now, jam-packed with stuff. And it's just my passion. I love it. I love filling up these binders so much. I opened to a kind of dramatic one, but it's super pretty. So I would like to do Everlasting Transient. Oh, excuse me. Oh, it's been a bit of a long day, but a really good day. Just a wee bit tired. I have a Red Bull in the fridge and I'm thinking about it. But maybe I should just let myself go to bed earlier. I was like, do I interrupt the phrase to scratch my nose or just keep going? But the power of the itch was too powerful. Thank you guys so much. For everyone that stayed around from Emma's raid, thank you. I really appreciate that. Well, I guess since we have so many people here, does one of the mods, would you mind putting a poll up to see if people would rather hear me play over tracks or make loops? So the tracks I do are video game, songs, and then the loops are a whole bunch of stuff. I cover artists from like Radiohead to Ella Fitzgerald to Soundgarden to, Paul McCartney, Elton John. There's lots of different things in there. And I sing over those. The poll is up now if you guys want to help me decide. Doing that piece, I was super like orchestrated. Makes me want to pick another orchestrated one. And I'm going to go for a really pretty piece called Stars at Our Backs from Monster Hunter World. It's super pretty. It was one that actually you guys told me to check out. And when I listened to it, I was like, oh, hot damn. Hell yeah. So I wrote out the music, and it's definitely a favorite on my list. There was so many follows, y'all. Thank you. Munch Break, Magoni, Antlin, J Fane. Thank you very much, everybody. Again, this one's called Stars at Our Backs. Even if you're not a fan of game music, the tracks that I picked to play over are like super orchestrated and really pretty. So even if you're not necessarily a game fan, if you like music, I think you'll like it. Give it a chance. I'm so surprised that tracks and video game music won. I mean, hell yeah, I like it. We had 2 raids earlier from lovely singer-songwriters, so I was like kind of figuring that people would prefer singing in loops. But hell yeah! Let's do some game jams! Yay! I love it. Let's see. So I got my main one here. Let's do a butt kicker. When you make loops, what sort of style do you do? I'm kind of all over the place, if I'm honest. Like, sometimes I do, sometimes I do more like folky ones with the banjo and the guitar and like harmonized vocals and strings. But then I do some with like the piano and the electric bass and electric drums. There's just lots of stuff. It's all happening here. I want to do the Mantis Lords. I might regret this. I had a 3.5-hour rehearsal before this, and I can tell my brain is a little like fuzzy. So I will probably play some of these notes. I don't know about all of them, but you know, it's okay. Hollow Knight, Mantis Lords. That's from the middle. I want to do it from the top. Come on now. Come on, man. Okay. Fun. One day, Hollow Knight, I will return to you. One beautiful day. That one's fun. Cannot deny that that one is a good time. For Zeri, thank you for the dono. Oh my goodness, and it made a fine number. Oh my, wow. Damn, look at that. That cute little, wow. Trevor, welcome as well. Thank you for Light for the bits as well. Thank you very much. Oh, fantastic choice. I love this one. Everyone, please find a dance partner because this song is so damn fun. And believe it or not, it was actually one of the very first songs I added to the song list. I was playing through Bravely Default at that time. And when I got to this part of the game, I just loved the music so much that I kept finding excuses to go back to that part of the game so I could keep listening to it. And one day I'll record all the instruments in this because it's so awesome and I want it as my own. Ready to dance? Everyone all paired up? Groups of 3 are fine too. Boba Fett, thank you for the raid. What's up? I'm playing a Bravely Default song now, but let me know if I could play you something after. Freaking love this song. Oh yeah, for Boba, no pressure at all to pick. Just saying that if you see something on the list and you'd like to hear something, I'm more than happy to do that. I play a whole lot of video game music. I play a large chunk of the video game music that exists, I think. It's a lot. Could be more. We're working on it. I feel like that song makes me think of like this other kind of sassy one. You're a musical chef? I love that. Thank you. Thank you for that compliment. Journey from Destiny 2, you got it. This is one of my older transcriptions. I haven't played this one, like the game, but someone in chat asked me to learn it, and I hand wrote this one. I never typed it up like I do with my other ones. To show the history. It's like one of the first chat requests that I took from our legend Xaven, who we love so much. Okay, let's do it. Night stream, night stream, night stream, night stream, night stream. I read you say, "This is so beautiful," as I'm just hyper nonsense screaming on it. I apologize. I hope you don't regret the sub. I very much appreciate the sub, so thank you very much. I really appreciate it. This song goes on for a while, so I usually fade it out here. I feel like that one was a bit more action-y. Maybe I should do another kind of like action song. Ooh. I am in such a mood today. I'm so sorry, everybody. I feel like I'm being a crazy girl. I want to do Vampire Killer from Castlevania. That sounds fun to me. I love coming and listening to you play. Thank you. For Broba, I know you said that you usually play Destiny 2. Is that what you were doing today on stream? Pencils, have you heard the second Octopath Traveler yet? I already added like 8 of the songs to my list because I was so excited. For Slackjaw, you've been sub for a full year. Thank you so much. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Oh, wow. For Taylor, that's wild. Or Trevor, rather. Thank you. Mer. You guys are all so nice to me. Let's see where we're at in the follower count. Oh, I need 40. Well, I guess thanks to Jason. Thank you, Jason. I need 45 more followers, right? Or would that be 35? 35 more followers until I hit 40,000. You guys, that's crazy. Oh, I'm so excited. Good math. Thank you. This is how I feel about almost hitting 40,000 followers. Wait, I'm not ready yet. And what? And then what are you guys doing? 2 back-to-back subs with Switchblade and Magony, you guys? Thank you. You're like really touching my heart right now. All of you get priority requests whenever people do anything to help support the channel and help me remain a full-time musician. I play you anything from the song list that you want. So please, if you see something for Switchblade Magony, please let me know. And thank you guys so much, really. I have feelings. Oh. Let's go. Sylvan, how are you? It's always nice to see you. Ideas of Juno. I hope everyone's doing okay. It's always nice to see everybody. I stepped away for a second time, and you time traveled me yet again. I fought many a dark thing in the night in those times. I've actually never played Castlevania either. I'm totally outing myself as a... What would be the mean word to describe someone who does that? A liar. Like, that's not a liar. I ain't no liar. Been thinking about playing Octopath Traveler 2. Play your favorite song from that, please. Okay. Oh, before I do that, though, I want to do Hauling After Perluf from Unravel, which is super fun and a game I have played. Okay. I'm doing all like the party songs. I'm just in a party mood, I guess. I'm so tired, but... Let's do it! Well, that was an unfortunate mistake on my part. Still fun, though. I love that song. We had a request for my favorite Octopath Traveler 2 song. It's so hard for me to pick because I'm already like absolutely enamored with these. Okay. We have the Leaflands. That one's really pretty. Brightlands. Probably be Brightlands. Let's start with Brightlands. I think that might be my favorite. The Leaflands is also very pretty too. So again, if you have not checked out the Octopath Traveler 2 soundtrack yet, what are you doing? Do it. It's so good. It's so beautiful. I've been waiting for this game to come out so I could listen to the soundtrack and learn songs for y'all from it, and I am just so in love with it. Oh, and then I'll do the decisive battle for you for Switchblade. I'm so sorry, I just saw that. Is it okay if I play this one first? I hope you don't mind. Night versions next. And then we're gonna do a battle theme for the Switchblade. Okay, check out how pretty the night one is. that almost made me want to like cry at the end. It was so pretty though. There's like certain clusters of notes when I hear them where I'm just like, oh my god. And that's definitely one of them. But yeah, that's just a sneak preview of some of the absolute like gorgeousness that is the Octopath Traveler 2 soundtrack. I highly, highly recommend. And I play already at least like, again, I think I play 8 songs from there right now, so always feel free to ask for them. So next up we have Decisive Battle from Final Fantasy VI. This one is a fast line, so I'll have to cross my fingers and hope I can get it. I just want to hear the ending of this one before we move on. This is the part that makes me like misty-eyed. It's so pretty. Alright, enough beautiful. Now we're getting into old school MIDI track boss battle time. The Decisive Battle. Alright, wake up everybody. Me included, me especially. Let me see this fast part before I jump in. I'm suspicious of it. It's like... Okay! Bring it on, baby. Let's do it. Making it like swung. I'm being so stupid. It's not funny. Why do I think this is funny? I don't. My brain's like on sparks right now, y'all. NGL. Yep. I'm probably gonna only do 3 hours, I think, tonight. We'll see how it goes. On that note, though, I do need to use the restroom again real quick, so I'm gonna do that. And in the meanwhile, force my YouTube video on you again. You can't run away from it. Follow my YouTube channel. Yes, please, Cathedora. Okay. This is a video that's on that channel that you should follow. Okay.
Out on the top plains, the flags are moving. Oh, looking for a new place to drive. You sit beside me, so newly charming. Sweating dewdrops glisten fresh in the sight. And the sun looks down, letting everything behind. It's the front of your dress, all shadowy line. And the drum engine thaws in time with your beating heart. And the sun looks down, letting everything behind. It's the front of your dress, all shadowy line. And the droning engine thaws in time with your beating heart. Sing, blue silver. Way down the lane away, living for another day. The aphids on the bend, drifting haze. Swim seagull in the sky towards that hollow western night. My envied lady holds you fast in her gaze. And the sun looks down, letting everything behind. It's the front of your dress, all shadowy line. And the drum engine thaws in time with your beating heart. And the sun looks down, letting everything behind. It's the front of your dress, all shadowy line. And the droning engine thaws in time with your beating heart. watching lovers part. I feel you smiling. What glass splinters lie so deep in your mind? To tear out from your eyes with a thought to stiffen brooding lies. I'll only watch you leave me further behind. And the sun dips down, letting it behind. It's the front of your dress, all shadowy line, and the droning engine thaws in time with you being home. And the sun dips down, letting it behind. It's the front of your dress, all shadowy line, and the droning engine thaws in time with you being home. And the sun dips down, letting it behind. It's the front of your dress, all shadowy line, and the droning engine thaws in time with you being home. And the sun dips down, letting it behind. It's the front of your dress, all shadowy line, and the droning engine thaws in time with your beating heart.
Did I get you that time? I'm delirious, everyone. I apologize. Well, I made a goal for myself on my little doc sheet, and I really wanted to try and get used to playing piano while singing. So I'm going to try it with my Wilco cover. I know I did this one last Friday, and I try not to do things too close back to back, but I want to see how it goes. It should provide a faster loop build, which maybe means I can add another instrument to it. So let's try it out and see how it goes. I'm a little nervous, but I haven't played and sang piano before, so I've been practicing and I want to try it. Oh, jeez. Okay, I can do this. Okay, I can do this.
Jesus, don't cry. You can rely on me, honey. You can combine anything you want. Tall building shade, voices escape, singing sad songs. Turn to cold, stone down your cheek, bitter melody, turning your orbit around. Don't cry. You can rely on me, honey. You can combine anything you want. I'll be around. You're right about the stars. Each one is a setting sun. Tall building shade, voices escape, singing sad songs. Turn to gold, strong down your cheek, bitter melody, turning your orbit around. Don't cry. You can rely on me, honey. You can come by anytime you want. Tall building shade, voices escape, singing sad songs. Turn to gold, strong down your cheek, bitter melody, turning your orbit around. Strong down your cheek, bitter melody, turning your orbit around.
Okay. I did it. The only thing is, what gets in the way is if I don't record the piano, then I can't solo. Oh, but you know what I could try? Can I try it just because we're experimenting? What if I record the piano while I sing and then it's just there? Does that make sense? Do you see what I'm trying to say? So let's say I recorded the strings, right? And I'm like, oh, this is what it sounds like right now. So now I start.
Jesus, don't cry. You can rely on me, honey. You can come by anything you want. I'll be around. You're right about the stars. Each one is a setting sun. Tall building shade, voices escape, singing sad songs. Turn to gold, strong down your cheek, bitter melody, turning your orbit around.
Yeah, and then it's there. Right? And then I could just be all like,
Don't cry. You can rely on me, honey. You can combine anything you want.
violin solo over that stuff, and then
Tall building shade, voices escape, singing sad songs. Turn to gold, strong down your cheek, bitter melody, turning your orbit around. Strung down your cheek, bitter melody, turning your orbit around.
what do you guys think of that? I'm, again, trying to experiment with a couple new strategies for looping. So if I do the piano part while singing that first verse, then it's just there. And that cuts down on like That would cut down on going through the entire song form once, because it's already done. So I think that's a good move to do, to try and make my loops a little more efficient, and also just maybe more interesting to watch. All feedback is super, welcome, as long as it's nice. I mean, even if it's like, I like it better the other way. Like, it's totally fine to say that, but I would prefer it in a pleasant delivery if possible. You hate it? Oh, okay. But hey, it's good to know. Feed front? I don't know what you mean by that. I was joking. Oh, okay. I mean, just making sure. Y'all, I want to keep going, but I need to be honest. I am so spent. I am really, really tired. I had a great rehearsal today, but it was a really long rehearsal, so I'm gonna call it here. But I will be back tomorrow night at 6 p.m. So if I didn't get to play you a song tonight, if you come by tomorrow, I promise I'll be here playing. For when someone loops in a performance, I like them to play something while singing. Okay, perfect. That is the exact kind of feedback I need. Thank you. I'm gonna do one more very sweet song. It's called Main Menu from Overcooked 2. And this song just melts my heart. I think it's so pretty, and I think it would be a nice way to end. For all the new follows and friends today, thank you, Curious Folk, for the follow. Again, I'm going to be live tomorrow for anyone who wants some more music. I'm going to play one more for you, and then I'm going to send you off for a raid. Just happened to be here by your chance. You're fantastic, and I love watching your creative process. Havoc64, thank you. Oh my goodness. I feel like I'm usually so much more on my game. I'm just running kind of on fumes right now, if I'm being honest. It's been very busy lately, good busy. And I'm really excited with where I'm going, but I made myself a promise last week that I would be able to come on here and try some of the corrections that I brought up last week. So, yeah. I got all day off tomorrow before the stream, so I'm just going to be practicing and seeing if I can play with some of the audio effects on Ableton to try to apply tomorrow. Thank you guys so much. I know I was kind of delirious and a bit extra silly today, but I was so excited to come home and get to do this. And I'm really excited with just some of the plans I have in my head with moving forward on the channel. I really feel like with some of these changes I'm making, we're going to get a much higher quality stream coming soon. And I'm ready to take on the challenge. I have some things to try tomorrow. I learned some new bass lines for other things that I said I would this week. And I'm ready. I'm ready to do this thing. Let's do it. Oh, Chris. I was just about to stop stream. Hey, Chris, let me ask you something. Do you have an original song that I could try and play music over? Because I closed my queue, but maybe I could get to show everybody what you do. Because I've seen what you do, and I think you're very talented. Unless he left, and then I can just play something if he left. Welcome, Raiders. My name's Joe. I play over video game soundtracks because it makes me really damn happy. I also make loops and sing on top of them. That's the gist of what happens here. How about my original music? Okay. We'll do one more. I'll do Fairweather Friend. So this is in 4/4. I was never one. Yeah. Fairweather Friend. Maybe I'll try and play piano on it while singing. That's my goal that I'm trying to recently add on to stream. Okay. We got Nope at Ableton. Check. Pedals go beep, boop, bop. And then channel input 2. Oh, I love that. Let's do it. I was never one to believe in things. Da, 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 da. How's that tempo feel? I was never one to believe in things like destiny meant to be. It's a little fast. None of those strange happenings. Oh, hey, Chris. There you are. 1, 2. Okay, that should work. I just need the kick drum a little louder for me. Yeah, I'm good. It's been a long one for me. Long day, but a good day. I was asked for an original, so let's do the damn thing. 1, 2. How's this next part go? I feel like I slowed my tempo. Yeah, that's not gonna do right there. Well, 2, 3. Brava. And then there's 2 more chords. Cool. Violin time. Zoot, you're the best. have two computers and my mouse is linked to both, and God, get back over here. Come on. Please. Oh, this is ridiculous. I can't get my mouse back. This is so stupid. I got it. Okay. Jeez. That was kind of ridiculous. That's not normal. It shouldn't happen like that. My bad. Anyway, here we go. You crazy person! Oh my God, thank you! Am I brave enough to try piano? What's this? Next time. Oh my gosh. What is happening? I got another raid. Oh my goodness, golly gracious. Tunes, thank you. Can I sing you an original song I'm looping right now? I hope you like it. Okay, here we go. Never one to believe in things like destiny you're meant to be. None of those strange happenings seem to want anything to do with me. Wouldn't it be nice to have a kind of life where I could only see my here now? 'Cause I know it would do me good, but I'm scared I've forgotten how. Help me remember my faith.
Just know I'm listening. Take me back when my days are full of play, days of make-believe. I was unstoppable and anything was possible, so happy-go-lucky. Wouldn't it be nice to have a kind of life where I could only say my hair now? 'Cause I know it would do me good. I'm dying. Okay. Help me remember my fair weather friend. I am only trying to capture my own happily ever after before the end. Don't have forever, please, fair weather friend. Wherever you've been, just know I'm listening. I'm my own fair weather friend. 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 I was never one to believe in things like destiny or space. None of those strange happenings seem to want anything to do with me. Wouldn't it be nice to have a kind of life where I could only say my hair now? Cause I know it would do me good, but I'm scared I forget them.
I spilled on no electronics, but very close to a lot of them. So, I am gonna end stream. Chris, thank you so much for the raid, as well as Tunes. Thank you so much. Y'all just caught me when I was being like, man, I feel kind of delirious and I think I need to stop. And then I spilt a bunch of stuff. This morning I had a rehearsal for a new project that I was asked to be a part of. And it was awesome. It was so much fun. But, you know, I practiced for a few hours before and then did the rehearsal for like 3.5 hours. So I was just Yeah, I'm confused. I promise I'm usually a bit more put together than today, y'all. Thank you so much. Just thank you. I should stop talking. Raid. Let's do that. Also, for chat, if anyone hasn't already followed Chris, you should definitely do that. He is a lovely musician. He has a great voice and he loops too, and he's really nice. So I think that you should consider. I will be live at the same time tomorrow for anyone who wants music. If you're like, oh, why you're leaving? I'll be back tomorrow. That's okay. So I actually see that one of my friends here in Nashville, they're like one of my favorite Nashville bands. They're live now. I think they're raising funds because they're going on tour. And they're raising funds to help do that. So we're going to raid some of my favorite people in Nashville. Their band's called Howling Giant. I've played actually a couple shows with them now over the past years. And they're just a great group of dudes. Did it work? Thank you for the bits, you guys. Slackjaw, Zeri, all these follows. Everyone, truly, just thank you so, so much. Again, these guys are freaking awesome. They're doing, I think, a whole month tour all around the country with this band Elder and another one I can't remember. But if you like their music, you might be able to see one of their shows too. I love you. Goodbye. I hope that worked.